Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome to Write Your Light. I am Eva Andrea, and I'm so grateful you're here. This space is all about honoring your voice, your story, and the light that only you can bring into the world. And if you enjoy today's episode, it would mean the world if you liked, commented, or shared it with someone who might need a little extra light too. Your support truly helps this community grow. And if you're feeling called to dive deeper into your writing journey, I'd love to invite you to my writing circle, a warm, supporting space to write, flow, and shine together. And you'll find the link, it's waiting for you in the show notes. All right, let's jump in. Welcome, my loves. We are back on Write Your Light. You can just snuggle up, make yourself a cuppa, because today you're going to meet the most beautiful, radiant soul, Elicia Woodford, my dear soul sister, founder of Core Emotional Healing, and now an author. Yay! Yay! I met Elicia 1 year ago and had the joy of walking by her side as her mentor in this writing process. And today we're meeting up to, celebrate her beautiful book baby that I can't wait for you to hear much more about. This book is amazing. It's called Free to Be Me, and it's a memoir of, let me see how you phrase it, trauma, healing, and rebirth. And this is a stunning book. It's like a deep story of transformation, so raw, so honest, and so enchanting at the same time. So I'm so happy to have you here, Elicia. Thank you for joining us.
I'm so excited to be here, Eva. Thank you for being with me throughout this whole process. I couldn't have done it without you. And you and this is my guiding light for this to happen. So thank you.
Thank you. And Elicia, I have become so, you have become so dear to me. You have become like a real sister of heart to me. And I see the courage you have brought to your writing process and the beautiful light that you are in this world. I'm really moved sitting here with you today because I know what it has taken, and seeing you now with your book, it's amazing. So how are you feeling? How does it feel to have come to this point of your journey?
I feel high. I am so excited. It's so much happened, as you know, through just the book writing process, and so much has cleared and completed that I am in a different energy and now in a different place in everything in my life and my business, and with the book I'm in a different phase of everything. And so it's exciting, a new phase, and to share my stories is the best thing.
Yeah. Oh
for
my
for
God.
me to know that people are being helped in that way, in this new, yeah.
Wow. I can only imagine how you must feel right now. It's so beautiful. And we'll talk much more about that kind of part of the journey of the transformation that it has also been to write your story, right? Because many who are listening here are also, dreaming of writing their story. And that is partly also why I really wanted to bring you on here, because I know that there's so many out there who has a story to tell like you had, and how powerful it is to tell your story, right? Um, I know it from my own book writing as well, my own memoirs, how transformational it is, you know.
Yes.
So, Elicia, let's dive in. I would love to hear, first of all, when I say write your light, what does that mean to you?
What comes to mind for me is sharing what I have gone through, what I've overcome. So the light that I bring from my experiences, the light that I am, what I've come here to do and to share that and to have this light also is like the energy of it. So the energy of transformation for me in my book helps helps others in that in their own transformation. And so it's spreading my light, it's sharing my light, I'm writing my light, spreading it out in that way.
Wow. I can really feel the truth of that. Wow. So beautiful how our words are kind of carrying the light, right? And um, also alchemizing darkness into light. And it's like, wow, it's magical.
It is.
So, Elicia, I'm so excited to hear, how did your writing journey begin? Did you always know that you wanted to write?
It's so interesting how it began. Because I don't think I've even shared this with you. So I, my book begins 20 years ago, and around that time, so my story was just beginning, I hadn't gone through it all yet. And around that time, I was connected to this holistic community in Atlanta. And so I would have these meetings and networking meetings, and there would be intuitives there. And I remember this moment in my loft in Atlanta where there was two intuitives talking, and they both came up to me and they said, "Did you write your book yet?"
Wow.
And so that would happen over the years. People would talk about my book. So healers I would go to. And so I knew like it actually didn't necessarily come from me first. It was this planted, like, life makes it very obvious for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I was being supported and knowing this was coming. And in addition to that, though, I always had interesting stories. So even 10 years before that, I was, in corporate sales, and I had a cube mate, and every day he'd come in, he's like, "Tell me what happened." He's like, he's like, "Can I have the rights to your movie?" So that was also planted for me. So yeah. And then I would have really interesting stories. I'm like, it feels like my life is writing itself, and it's a movie. It's a very like uh it's a very interesting movie. And so I would tell, and I would forget about what happened because things kept happening that were super wild and entertaining and interesting. And I would tell stories, but then I would forget about the past ones until, and sometimes like I'll have some wine and it unlocks memories. And then I'd be telling someone I'd known for years about things that happened. And I'm like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you went through all that." So it was like those things. I knew there was a reason why I kept telling these stories and people were captivated by them.
I can't tell you how much I love this. And this is totally the experience I had when I met you. That it's like, come on, girl, how many lives have you lived in one life? And how crazy are your stories? How wild are they? It's like so, I so hear what you're saying. Like, it's like a movie, you know? So I love that you have said yes to writing that book. That was in the spirit all from the beginning. That's amazing. And also, it's also something about the divine timing, right? Because if you had written that book back then in Atlanta in the beginning, you would not have had that story, so you had to live the movie before you could write it in a way, right?
Yeah, and definitely. And I actually knew when I was in Costa Rica 6 years ago, 6 or 7 years ago, I had this kitchen moment. I was like, I think I was like on the floor of the kitchen, and it came to me because knew I was writing a book, and I didn't know if it was what it was going to be, if it was going to be like a how-to book or a memoir. And I was being kind of misguided to the how-to book by a professional, and and then and then it just occurred to me, I was like, I need to write my stories. My stories is what helps people the most, and and that's what all of my clients have always said. And it gives them the hope, and it gives them like, oh, it is possible, and here's how to do it through my stories. And so I just knew it then, and I just couldn't write it until last year for many reasons.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I hear you. Hmm. Amazing. And sometimes it takes a while to find the form of one's book, right? And I'm so delighted that you chose to make it into a memoir because your storytelling is exquisite, I would say. It's like a page turner. This book is so exciting to read and so deep going as well as funny. It's like you go to places.
Thank you.
But it's really a captivating story to read. So, before we go even deeper into the book, I would love to hear also a little bit about how has writing kind of played a role in your healing journey? Um, because I know it has kind of been with you, even if you maybe didn't write on a book. Um, how have you been have you been journaling, or tell us more?
Yes, writing, and well, since I became a journaling facilitator when I was 33 years old. So I had a block with writing until then. So because I was blocked emotionally, it translated to that. And I convinced myself I wasn't a good writer, I wasn't creative because of, whatever happened in my childhood. And so I knew I needed to write because I was in these transformational processes and courses, and I had a block. So I had an email come in that said, do you want to help people get to know themselves and take care of themselves, empower them? I said, yeah, become a journaling facilitator. And I was like, perfect. And so I wrote every day for 3 months. I did 100 different journaling techniques. And then I started creating journaling workshops and workbooks, and that was and has been the best for me personally, the number one tool for healing myself and to get to know myself and manifest things, create things, my overall well-being. And I also, it was the number one thing that connected me to my heart when I taught it to others, when I helped them connect to their hearts. So it's been huge. It's writing and journaling has been the foundation of my healing and to help other people heal. So yeah.
Wow. That's really awesome, Elicia. I love that. And I'm also thinking it would be fun to hear, like in the comments, if you watch this on YouTube, if you're journaling, if you know what we're talking about here, the power of writing and journaling, free flow writing in different ways. I can so much recognize myself, and I think that's also why I love to teach that myself. It's like such a befriending of ourselves, right? And our soul as well.
Yeah, it's a direct communication, it's like cozying up with our soul.
I love that. Cozying up with our soul.
It is. I'm like, it feels so good to, I've been, after getting through a lot of the stuff that needs to be aware, come, to the stuff, the emotions, the feelings, the struggles, to write about those, may not feel so cozy, but it's intimate and healing.
Yeah, yeah. It brings it to our awareness so we can feel it, right? Wow. And I'm feeling like I want to find, because you're still waiting for the printed book of your
Yes,
beautiful new book. So I
coming
would love.
soon, but just didn't have it today. So
Oh, it's on the way. And when we publish this interview, it will actually be published, right? So you can maybe talk a little about that. Then I will find the cover, because I would love to try to share the screen and see if I can make that work.
yes, and
Let
I
me
have
see.
it. If that I don't know how easy it is to share for me, but
Yeah, let me see if I can make it work.
yeah. So the timing with everything has just been magical. So this talking with you, the same
Mhm.
month that I first contacted you is the same month that my book is being published. And then this interview is being published at the same time. And yeah, that's been the theme through this whole writing journey too. The timing of everything has been magical.
Yeah, wow. I love that. And I will cut this into the recording because there's some technical troubles here.
Okay.
But it's a beautiful cover. I love the cover and this kind of feeling it gives me just to look at it. So I'll share it here for the YouTubers as at least who can see it. And congratulations again. I mean, and what I just to weave a little thread back to what you just shared, I can see how your writing is so flowing. And I think it's also a fruit of all that journaling and free flow writing you must have done through the years. It's like that backbone that really has created that kind of very unique voice of yours and that flowing feeling. Just so that is said.
Yes, yeah, thank you. And I had done actually, even though I was journaling, I still was blocked with writing. Um, Being able to write in that way came from an emotional process I did actually of yes, another kind of wound that blocked my ability to write in that way. So my voice really and valuing it and so through an emotional process, I was free.
Free to be me.
Be me.
Yay. That's beautiful. Yeah, I hear you. That's often a process for writers to kind of really liberate our voices and trust our truth and trust that it can be heard, right? Um, and that it has value and worth.
Yes.
So, yeah. And you do that in such a stunning way in this memoir. That's one of the things that I really deeply admire is your honesty and your vulnerability, your authenticity that you bring into the writing, even if you write about magical spiritual experiences, but you're like you're bringing all of you into the story, right? So it becomes this mirror that we can really kind of reflect ourselves in.
Mm.
So deep respect for the degree of honesty that you have brought to this book. It's rare, I would say.
Thank you. Yeah.
Mm.
I've shared so much publicly that there was no it was just natural for me. It wasn't anything that felt uncomfortable or risky or that I needed to work through. It was just yeah.
But it also tells something of your ability to kind of hold yourself and all of your feelings and this kind of core emotional healing that you're doing, right? That you have that capacity to not hide in your writing as well.
Mhm.
Um, so what a gift this book is. And I would love us to kind of just hear a short passage if you would like to take us into a little experience of a little, taste bite of your story.
I'd love to.
Mhm.
Let me pull it up. Here we go. Okay. You ready?
You ready? And maybe you can tell us why you picked this piece.
It covers a lot of what it's about and hints to where it goes. Okay, so shortly after that mystical message, I went to see the shaman in North Georgia. She helped remove the attachment to Gramps and my spirit baby so they could also move on. Then she told me something unexpected. She said, "There's a part of you waiting for you in the south of France, drinking wine on a balcony, laughing her ass off. She's waiting for you to stop trying to make him understand." I knew what she meant about him and all of the hims who don't understand me or themselves. I try and I try to get them to listen to me, but I end up drained and depleted, just like in my childhood. Living in the south of France didn't make sense, though. Maybe she meant a past life, waiting to integrate. I saved this in my heart. I swore I couldn't go on like this with Nick anymore. All of our highs would crash and burn. I would end up hurt and feeling alone. When I returned from Florida, I went to Nick's city penthouse. While we were drinking sangria by the pool, I saw one of Justin's ex-girlfriends who also lived with Will before I was with both of them. She was poolside with her husband and their newborn. A sign or warning, perhaps. Nick and I went up to his penthouse pretty buzzed. I looked at my phone and I saw I had a missed call from Australia. I screamed, "Oh no," and broke down crying. I had waited 3 weeks to have a session with the emotional therapist who I last worked with in Thailand. Nick asked me what happened. While still crying, I told him I missed an important session I had scheduled with someone who lives in Australia because I got the time difference mixed up. Ironically, I booked the session because I felt desperate and conflicted because of my relationship with him. That's when Nick yelled at me, "Stop crying and stop being such a victim." His emotional abuse struck me hard, leaving me reeling. I grabbed my bag and fled. Back in my apartment, I flung open the door and stumbled to the bathroom. Crumbled on the floor, my body shook uncontrollably, wailing and crying as I curled up into a tight ball. I looked down and I saw my stomach had grown as if I was 6 months pregnant. Yeast was pouring out into my underwear. It was then, amidst the physical upheaval, that the truth hit me. My chronic symptoms were just a manifestation of deep emotional pain.
What a moment.
That was one of the bathroom floor moments.
And one of the turning points. Wow. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for
And
inviting me to share that. Yes.
yeah. And I think also this passage actually shows something about this kind of very nuanced span you have in your memoir between the pain and the magic, right? Well, it's a bit hard, right? Because we don't want to reveal too much, but it's really a worthwhile story. And if you should say just a little bit more, like about what is your book about, or what is the focus points of this book? Could you give us a little kind of teaser?
My book is about really, I guess, the main theme. There's so many things in there that pretty much anyone could relate to, because I do cover so much that everyone goes through basically in life, or could go through. But my main theme of the book is healing my father wound and that pattern with men, and how how that looked in reality, what it takes, the journey through different relationships to do it over 20 years, the support it takes, the choices, the courage, and the result.
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, there's so many other things too. I mean, it's the trauma is the main, the trauma healing, but really the effects of the trauma of self-esteem, body image, eating disorders, various addictions, career change, which was all related to, why I was in a career at first, a corporate career, what led to, doing what I created for myself, and grief journeys and emotional, physical healing, and just the transformation, global living, living in many countries.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a beautiful way of putting it. I love that. It's almost like I see how all your different life experiences are these. You're also kind of all the time mirroring yourself in the different love relationships, right? And what they give you of insights and healing and triggers. And it's like really a strong story. And I totally agree. There's something for everyone to reflect themselves in, because you show yourself and your journey so openly. So what a powerful read. What a powerful read. And thank you for writing it, Elicia. I'm so happy with you. And I would love to hear a little more, just to make sure that we really have covered that part of writing about oneself. How was that for you? Can you say a little more about that? How was it to bring yourself so fully onto the pages?
Yeah, great. So as I said, writing about myself was easy. It's the fullness of writing about everything I went through. Was what happened was unexpected. I It was a whole other healing for me, a whole other, it was like a shamanic journey, 7 month shamanic journey, where I went through many, similar to like taking ayahuasca or something, like beautiful, intense, magical. So much happened during that process. And I felt like writing was also, it was completing things in real life, in real time. So it was like I was accessing all dimensions in time by writing about it, and things would happen in real time that of the similar, something I was writing about then was also at the same time, or needed to happen to help me write it, or just confirmation of what I was writing. It was just incredible.
Yeah. Oh, I feel I really, I can really validate that as like following you on the side, because every time we spoke, it was like, okay, what is happening now? No, and you always have the wildest stories about what had happened and what has healed in you and what has kind of. So I really see how you did that time traveling thing, actually, by writing about your story between timelines and wrapping up things and healing and closures and right.
Yes.
things coming full circle. There was a lot of coming full
A
circle.
lot of coming full circle in the book and writing the book.
Yeah,
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 yes.
exactly.
Even now with you, the same month that I contacted you. It's
Of
like
course. Yeah.
this
Yeah.
coming out when I'm publishing the book. It's like, yeah,
Wow.
us
Exactly.
wearing the same color. We didn't plan this.
We didn't plan it, but we felt very soft rosa today.
Feminine.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Yeah. So did you have any kind of spiritual experiences while writing this book? You know, my audience is quite spiritual, so you can bring it on if you had any.
Yes, I did. There was many. Well, towards the end of my book, and it was actually when I was writing about the most magical spiritual experiences in my book, they were also happening. So there was one chapter I was writing about two people that lived in the same place where I lived at one point, who didn't know each other at that point when I was writing about them. And I wrote about how they both contacted me on the same day. That kind of was a confirmation for me to go where I was going. And I'm writing about it in the morning, and I started feeling like I was tripping on drugs. I was like, this energy was just like, oh. And then they contacted me, and they were both on the same shuttle while I was writing that chapter, going to the same place, and they had dinner with each other that night.
What?
And I remember it was like 9:30 in the morning. I'm like, I feel like I'm tripping right now. It was wild.
Wow.
And yeah, and then it was, so I think, the more magical I was at that point in my story, my life, things were it was very exciting and fun to be writing, and that's when things were speeding up, like and you were there with me, where I couldn't stop writing even when I wanted to. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna take the weekend off, and then nope, I would wake up with like the next things coming to me. I'm like, okay, and to the point where I dreamt about the whole chapter that I was going to write about the next day, that it was exactly a year. I wrote this down too. It was what I was writing about was exactly a year to that date. And I dreamt about it the night before.
Yeah.
And it was like, even when I finished the book, I wanted to stop writing. I wanted a break. And then I dreamt about my thank yous then. I was like, the book's
Give
like,
me a break. Yeah.
yeah, but the book was really um had my energy in it. It
Very
was
alive.
like,
Yeah.
it's done now. Yes.
Uh-huh. Wow, thank you. I feel this is really intriguing. And then it is that you start to wonder who is writing who. Am I writing the book, or is the book writing me? Or, it's like everything becomes one. It's
Yes.
very special. Yeah.
Uh, and then after I completed it, I felt all of this energy that, like, the past was complete. Like it was just not present at all anymore. And there was so much energy. I had so much energy come back to me.
Um, that's fascinating. Mm.
Yes.
Like a soul, do you say a soul retrieval?
I would think so. That's accurate. Yeah.
Yeah, you're taking your power back somehow from the whole journey. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. And mm, a lot of the chapters were heavy because they
mm.
were recent. The first ones were fun to write because it was long ago. I had already processed it all. And then there was many chapters that were so recent that was heavy, and it was in the winter. in my first winter of 6 years. And so everything was like winter. It was really hard. And yeah, then that's when I grieved. I had a huge grieving process that happened one night, late night. Yeah. And that was, I think it was just everything that needed to be released was released, that I was still carrying, or yeah, from what I was writing about.
Yeah, I can so much relate to that from my own memoir writing. I know what you mean. It's like it's bringing up what we need to feel, because you relive it also when you write your story, right? So it is a very alchemical process, but it can take some courage to stand in it. It's like a fire also, right?
Yes. Yes.
So
Yeah,
wow.
and I was it was interesting now with all this energy, because all of my energy was going into writing. And so I didn't do anything else. It seems like, I mean, couldn't even work out, or, have, I remember just doing very gentle kind of somatic stretches or something, but like there was no energy for either like cardio or even walking, just, what I did. But yeah, the difference. But
Yeah.
now it's, oh,
Yeah. Yeah, and thank you for saying that, because I think there's also something about I've seen that as a mentor also for others, that it's like this, there are phases, right? There are phases where we're tuning in on the book, we're starting to take notes, we're listening, and it's building, 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 and then at some point the birth of the body comes, and that is like, you can't really run away from the birth. It's like it's you gotta give birth. When energy comes, it's so strong. So it's something about really allowing it through, and being present with it. And you don't do cardio while you're birthing, right?
right, exactly.
I
Yeah.
don't know anyone who did, but
Right.
so there's a time for everything,
It's,
and then
yeah.
to really allow that kind of to, there's a time window there when it's kind of all consuming for many of us, I would say. And it's like, it's not going to be like that forever. It's just like a process of kind of giving birth. And it's also a high. It's also an altered state in a way that we enter, I would say, when we
Yes.
surrender to that.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, good with some stretches and walks and food and stuff when we're in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so
It's
I
just
love
an internal process, it's
it.
like so much is happening, that we're not aware of what we're processing.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah. So was there anything that kind of surprised you during this process about yourself? Did what did you learn about yourself in a way? Um,
Uh, well, thanks to you. It was because of your guidance of how to write. I wasn't sure if I actually could be a good writer. I have a lot of stories, but actually being a captivating writer. Hold on, my dog. Come on, Trevor.
a little doggy in the room.
Yeah,
He
he
loves the
wants
energy.
to be in the room.
Uh-huh. Oh.
Anyway, yeah, so I wasn't, that was surprising to me after your guidance on how to write, really, because I had never taken any classes or courses or worked with anyone before. And you working with you, it was just, you gave me that, like how to do it, the examples, and then it just all clicked for me, and I knew how to write. It was like you just showed me in an easy way, that how to do it. How to
Yeah, oh,
be a
that's sweet. Yeah.
storyteller. How to be a good storyteller. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's beautiful. Um, and there's something about, yeah, to kind of see the form you can do it in, and then it flows, right? Also because you were a very natural storyteller from before, but I see what you're saying, and I'm happy that it has been helpful. I would say it has been a great joy to also work with you, because you were so receptive and so easily integrated those little things that I could give you, and they also had that devotion to keep showing up for your writing. Because I would say it's also quite unusual to write a whole book and publish it within a year. You have really been devoted to bring this book to the world. So you can be so proud of yourself. I'm so proud with you, and so happy with the world that they get to read this story.
Thank
So
you. Yeah.
yes, really, yeah.
It really was the right time and place. I I wouldn't have been able, it probably would have taken many years for me to do all of that, but I just happened to be in the right place of my life and place location wise that was like a writer's retreat, and I had time, focused time with no distractions, no entertainment.
Yeah, universe made it so.
It was very obvious. I had that moment. Didn't know, like it was very uncomfortable to be where I'm at first, because it was such a drastic difference of where I came from in terms of fun, entertainment, things that I like to do. Like all of that was stripped away. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have any of those things. And then I just said, oh, this is my writer's retreat. I can finally write my book.
Exactly. In a beautiful farm in France. That's not too bad, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it's like, yeah, I couldn't have been more perfect. Idealistic, really, like a organic farm in the south of France.
I mean, come on, yeah, what's not to like? Yeah, but there's still this saying yes to it and showing up for the work, and you really did that. So I honor you for that. And I feel like asking you, Elicia, I know I haven't prepared you for this, but I was so fascinated by something that you experienced with Magdalene. Is there anything you want to kind of share about that experience, or one of those experiences?
Yeah, she's weaved throughout, right? So, um, yeah, that was not in my awareness, but it was always around me and guiding me, Magdalene. And I end up, not really by any awareness around where, or I don't know how to explain this without, I'm being careful about not telling the details that are of revealing the details, but yeah, end up being where she ended up. I'll just say that, and that was just kind of a surprise for me that happened after the fact, where it's like, oh, I wasn't aware, or I didn't remember, but all of a sudden I was like, oh, I landed where she landed. Oh, I live an hour away from where she spent her last 30 years. Uh, and yeah, she's been connected with me throughout the last 20 years. So
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's beautiful. There's like such a parallel there, and it's like stunning synchronicity. And people must read the book to get all the details.
yes. How did I end up here?
Yes, that can be a cliffhanger, right?
Yeah.
So, what is your hope for the readers, Elicia? What is your hope that this book would give them?
My hope for anyone reading this is to be inspired, comforted, entertained, healed, and transformed by taking, these. It's so the book is really a guide. It can be a guidebook of showing the way, like illuminating what it takes, that it is possible, and also to show the spiritual support that's always with us, even when we're in our darkest moments, and to pay attention to those things and be supported and guided as well, to to be able to return to our wholeness and our light and be in the magic.
Yeah. Oh, couldn't have said that better. It's such a lighthouse, this book, and I really feel it would give hope and light and guidance to so many,
Thank you so
while also being very entertaining to read and very captivating, right?
Yeah, it's interesting you said lighthouse, because there's this woman who reads people of who they are, in like a short little description, and she offered that one time years ago, many years ago, 10 years ago or something, on Facebook. She's a connection on Facebook of mine, and I said, yeah, sure, go ahead, read me. And we have never met. It was just a Facebook connection. And she said, you're the lighthouse. So
Wow.
perfect, you said that.
Yeah, but that's so true. And I think also there's really something about the extent of the darkness that you have been able to transform and hold in yourself is the extent of light you can kind of offer others. So there's you have walked through the fire and you are carrying buckets of water, right? Now I'm like mixing up metaphors here, but there's really something about when you have been there and you've done it. It's so real and it's so living, that light that you bring.
Yes.
So what is your like wildest dream for your book?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I wanted to reach as many people, the people it's meant to reach, who feel lost and confused, who feel like giving up. There's many times in my story I felt that way. Just to be able to know, that it's okay, and how to move forward even in those times. Yeah.
Mm. Oh, I see your book flying out into the whole wide world and landing in hearts all over who are longing for these messages and this light. And I really recommend anyone who's listening to go and grab your copy and get this book. And actually today, when I publish the interview, you can get it for free, right? Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, it's only for today. So if you're listening or watching this today, when it's published, you can download the Kindle version for free.
What a great gift. And then you can of course order your own copy to take notes and give to your friends and have for Christmas, and it's like a beautiful gift.
I'm glad that you said that, because even if you have it for free, or the Kindle, if they start with the Kindle or whatever, the hard copy is a great thing to have as like a journal, a guidebook of to go back to fold the pages that you need to go back to, or tab the passages, or
The smell of ink and fresh paper is just something special. Yeah, I know.
And the energy of it, actually, to have when you see it physically, it's a reminder.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful gift for your friends, right? I'm like, who else do you know who wants to be free to be me? Give it to them.
Anyone who's suffering, in any way.
Yeah, and who needs a beautiful, healing, transformational, inspiring book to read. So, yay. I'm so excited for this creation and so grateful for you, Elicia. And before we start wrapping up for today, I have like three weird questions. You know, I like to ask
I
weird
love
questions. No, actually, before that, sorry, now I'm too fast because I wanted to hear if you tune in on, you know, anyone sitting here listening who has a story to tell, but maybe hesitate. Um, what would you say to them?
hire Eva. And I'm serious. I really felt, you know, that I had it in me, but I felt a little lost around it of really what I needed you to help me define it first, because that's where I felt the most lost of like, yeah, I have so many stories. I know, like, what do I write about? How do I begin? So that, I mean, really is that helped me the most to begin was you, and your guidance every step of the way helped me complete it. So our energy exchange, your energy, you know, guiding me even, you know, when we weren't talking. So yes, and the what helped me the most besides that was having a lot of quiet, silent, the same word, I know.
Mm.
But it's different. It's like quiet, being quiet, but also like in the space, you know, having like a silent space location. You know, that's why I get why people go on writers retreats, you know, the difference of being in a place, it depends, you know, of like the energy, the distractions, life, and things like that, but creating the space to write, and having a lot of downtime. So it came very easily for me because I was in a place in my life where I just allowed myself to rest. I was just, you know, being able to just lay in bed and do nothing with no distractions. And so having, you know, many hours of quiet time with myself helped me connect deeper and release the buried memories that wanted to be shared.
Mm, that's really profound. I love that. And I can so much resonate with that. Mm, how we open up when we listen. It's so important. So, what a great advice. And thank you for your warm words.
You're welcome.
Warms my heart.
It's
Yes.
100% true.
Oh, thank you. And well, that brings us to those three weird questions, Alicia. So, well, maybe you kind of answered this, but let me ask you anyway. What's your favorite way to spend a slow and dreamy day?
A slow and dreamy day. Yeah, I am in a new place in my life that I'm really enjoying to not do anything, just to lay in bed, stare at the window, and just allow the flow to happen. Like, so the really important things come in those moments. So it's like, wow, like just to spend hours in bed doing nothing is like the most productive time. And you know, it's just like, oh yeah, this, oh yeah, this, and then things start coming. And so that's great because it's like this intimate time with life and my soul, and I don't know, the creativity. And you know, I would have said in the past journaling, but I don't even journal anymore. It's like because of where, you know, all of that is cleared, it's like I have this access to the things that I used to need to journal, to have access to. I mean, I do write, when things come, but now I'm just in a different place with that communication with myself and how to do that. My favorite thing to do is I go on journeys with music. So I'm very connected to music, and it's in my book. There's many songs throughout my book where I journey with the song, and it works on me, with me. And so it hits what needs to be, I don't know, it goes into my cells and it breaks free into my awareness and consciousness and heart. And there's so much happens when I journey with music. So I love listening to music and dancing anyway, but sometimes there's like moments where it's a shamanic journey.
That's so inspirational. Love that. So that brings us to, if you could bring only one book to a deserted island, which one would it be and why?
A blank journal.
Yeah, I hear you.
I mean, I love books. I've read so many books that I love. So it's hard to say one. And it depends on the time of my life. But like Celestine Prophecy and Conversations of God really began my spiritual journey. It was like then I lived them, so then there's many other ones during my spiritual journey that I love too. But I for fun, that's like fiction. I love Tom Robbins. He's like one of my favorite writers. So just maybe a fun book of his. But yeah, I think writing would be even more fun for me.
This is a very lovely answer, and I'm like so curious to see what would be written in that book. And I hope that there will be a new book that you would write there. Do you feel you have more books in you? Just to tease a little here.
For sure.
You do?
There's so many books. I feel them. Yes.
Can't wait for
more
them.
to come.
Uh-huh. We're just getting started.
We're just getting started.
Love that. Oh, so do you have a favorite word at the moment?
I would say excited. I am using that word very often now. I'm very, very excited, and it makes me very excited to be excited. And I'm a Sagittarius. The Sagittarius are like, I'm like in my nature. But yeah, very excited.
That's fantastic. Yeah, and I think it says a lot about you, because that is one of those beautiful characteristics of you, that aliveness, that passion for life, that ability to be fully here. And that is so igniting and so inspiring. So, wow. How I have loved this conversation, Elicia. Thank you so much for taking us with you into this journey of writing your beautiful new book, and for everything you have offered here. It's really been profound and inspirational and helpful. Is there anything like a closing word, something you would like to say before we say thank you for today?
Well, I want to thank you, Eva, so much for being my angel. I've called you my book angel since I first contacted you, and you've always, I'm so grateful for you, and our connection and your guidance and your energy, and inviting me to be here and sharing it with your audience and with our audiences, whoever it reaches. Hi, thanks for listening. I'm just really grateful for you, for everyone, and that you're my first podcast for my book, which is just so perfect. I'm just so happy and excited about all of this as it's being born, as you helped me birth it, including now today.
Thank you. Oh, my heart is soft, and deep gratitude to you too. for the way you have said yes to writing and to sharing your light and being that lighthouse. I appreciate you deeply, and I have come to love you so, so much. And I can't wait to follow your book's magical journey into the world. Thank you so much for today. Thank you to everyone who has been listening in with us. I would love for the listeners, if you can, if you have a place to comment, maybe in YouTube, share with us what did it give you to listen with us today, and what one word maybe are you sitting with as you say goodbye, and put a like, subscribe, because I have many more amazing writers coming in to share with us in the time to come, and I can't wait to see you again for Write Your Light. So much love. Thank you so much for being here with us. And if you want to have a meeting with your divine muse, go to my page www.eva-andrea.com for a guided writing meditation loved by thousands over the years. Thank you for listening, everyone. Share this episode with your friends and hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. So much love.